Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to this episode. Today, we've got something really special for you. A client that has been with us now for over 18 months. These are 22 and 23-year-old co-founders that have gone from 6.5 million just over 18 months ago to now over $100 million and counting. If you want explosive growth, this episode is for you. My man Chandler and I. Chandler, say what's up.
Hey everyone.
We have been working with Ryan Pancheri, Eric Pancheri, and the Reps and Company team for over 18 months, and this is breaking down the 4 principles that they have mastered to have explosive growth, and the 4 principles that you need to master. So this is a special episode of From 6 to 7 to show you how to get there as fast as humanly possible. Let's get right into it. Hey, Austin Netzley here, author, investor, and founder of 2X. For the past 2 years, we've been working with 6- and 7-figure business owners all across the world to help them get free from the day-to-day operations so they can scale their income and business faster than ever before. And now we're showing you the real-life stories, the real-life principles of what matters as you try to scale, as we walk a handful of entrepreneurs through the journey to go from 6 to 7 figures. Come, check it out.
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Pretty good. How
How's
are
the
you?
trip?
Pretty good.
Good. All right, Chandler's inside. Let's go see what he's up to and get this party started.
Let's rock and roll.
All right, make yourself at home. Chandler, we got a special guest here today, Mr. Pancheri in the house.
There he is, Mr. Ryan. What's up, man?
What is going on?
Good to see you. Long time.
How you been?
Dude, life is good. We're out here getting it done.
Nice.
Need something to drink? You good?
I'm good. I'm good.
Well, today, my friend, we're going to talk about scale and fast scale. Something that you know a couple things about. We want to break down your story a little bit and just share with people how to really grow a business in a big way. So just get settled. We're going to go out for a walk here, or just go out to the beach and just talk about your story. Sound good?
Sounds good. Let's get to it.
Good?
Let's roll.
Let's do it. All right, so Ryan, tell us just a little bit about your backstory. Like, when did you get started as an entrepreneur? How did you initially get into it? Start there.
Yeah, I mean, really, it was like middle school, high school. Started selling stuff online, eBay.
Middle school. So you were,
Yeah.
what, 12 years old?
I don't know exactly. I didn't know at the time I was like trying to become an entrepreneur. I just wanted to make money essentially. So figured out how to do that. Sold on eBay for a couple years.
What did you sell?
All types of stuff, sports memorabilia, bought and sold Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'd buy like 2,000 in bulk and then break them up and sell them off individually and stuff.
Yeah.
And I started turning that money into investing in the stock market.
No
So,
way.
you
How much
know,
money are we talking about? Like, you're 12, 14 years old. How much money are you bringing in on a particular month?
Probably not very much, like $1,000, and
Okay.
you know, some months I'd lose money.
12,
for
14
sure.
years old? That's a lot of money, dude.
Yeah, I mean, by the time I was in high school, I had a decent amount of money saved up that I was like investing in the stock market and
Okay.
trying to grow more traditionally.
So, and then you got exposed to a new market, the ticket world. Tell us a little bit about that, how you got initially started, and then ultimately what's Reps?
Yeah, so I came back my first year of college. I've been day trading stocks semi-successfully, not enough for me to get out of school. And my brother had been buying and selling tickets, and I came back for the summer and saw what he was doing. I was like, let me do this with you, basically. This looks like it's a ton of fun.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what that means for people that have no idea what you do.
Yeah, so there's a $15 billion market in the U.S.
15 billion. Okay?
15 billion of ticket resale, so buying and selling concert and sports tickets.
Okay.
So most people have heard of StubHub and Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster is the primary site, StubHub is the secondary site, so we're buying tickets and reselling them through StubHub.
Okay.
And hundreds of other websites.
What has been the biggest difference between what you thought to be true about the world back when you were just getting started to now what do you believe to be true about the world and yourself?
So now I really think that anyone, proper work and executing on the right goals, like you could create any company you want to create.
And how does that fuel you now as one of your guys' BHAG is to sell the most tickets in the world?
If you work hard, there's so many opportunities, and stay disciplined. Yeah. these companies aren't a bunch of geniuses out there. Don't get me wrong, there's some absolutely great companies out there, but the vast majority, that's just not the case.
When you see other entrepreneurs or other business owners out there that you network with, what do you think is different between your mindset and their mindset? Like, is there anything major that really stands out?
I don't know if I could generalize across all entrepreneurs and like say I'm somehow different, but there are people who are focused on getting what they need to get done now versus people who are really looking towards the future and trying to plan for what's the next steps, what are the next moves. I felt myself go through that transition when I just got started of how do I make the next dollar, how do I make the next dollar, versus now being at a point where we're trying to plan 6 months, a year, several years ahead. You have to be able to take on risks to reach reward. This really comes from my day trading time, was how do you value risk with the potential reward coming on the other side? In day trading, you're looking for situations where you feel that 80% chance of a win, 20% chance of a loss, and let's just say you're going to double your money. If you keep doing that over and over again and put yourself in a good situation where that risk is lower than what your potential reward is, I'd take those swings all day long.
Next thing, let's talk about the model, because like you can only scale so fast if the model is set up in that way. So one thing, talking about the mindset of making money short term, when we started, you and your brother Eric were driving so much of the decisions that were generating revenue for you guys. And you told me, hey, yeah, the systems thing, that's great, getting out of the buying and selling is great, but that's the best way that we can make money right now, and we've got to generate cash. So if I look at all the things, so you guys were telling me this story, and I'm like, that's great. I understand that you got to make money right now, but you guys are going to totally regret it if 6 months from now you're still doing the technician work. So finally, after a couple weeks, if you guys pushed back a little bit, and then you said, yeah, you're probably right. So we started to put together systems. We started to put together training. We started to insert other people and allow them to make more decisions so that you guys could take one step out of doing the technician work and then another step out. And by the end of the first 90 days, you guys went from doing pretty much like all revenue went through you two to then you only had to like approve decisions, and it took way less time. So then your model was starting to be scalable now that it didn't need so much time and energy from you. So can we talk a little bit about getting you out of the day-to-day and any model changes that have really allowed you to scale at the next level?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that right there is the key for us scaling, was us not being that bottleneck of decision making to drive revenue.
So let's talk about that process,
yeah,
because this is a tough thing to do. It's the equivalent of day trading, right? How do you teach somebody else day trading? Walk through some of the steps that we worked through.
Yeah, so I mean, for us, it really started with putting our ideas around data into a platform for our analysts to be able to view it and make decisions real time and quickly. So that's been a big part of it. Beyond that, we just put together a lot of training. We trained people for 12 months really to take over a lot of that role from us, and just create a lot of training materials, videos and otherwise to bring together to teach new analysts. Now we have about 20 analysts who are making decisions day to day. Eric or I have no involvement, Eric a little bit here and there, but really no involvement in the buying, pricing decisions, day-to-day activities of what everyone's doing.
Talk about the increase in turnover, the increase in ability to scale per month, just by you guys getting out of that.
Yeah, so, and just to be clear, it's turnover of tickets, not turnover of employees, but for tickets, we want to turn them over as quickly as possible to get that cash flow back so we keep buying more tickets. With Eric and I being the sole decision makers 18 months ago, how many decisions can you make in a day? Like we're not superhumans, but now with 20 people making decisions instead of us, we can multiply our knowledge, times 20 essentially, and some of those people definitely going to be smarter than us, so it's even better.
But here's a challenge for you. You guys are the best at what you do. All right, so many people, they start a business and they're the best at it, so they can't get free from it because they're the best at it. So how have you handled that psychologically as well as from a numbers standpoint to make sure that they're still profitable and whatnot? So how have you really helped them make sure that the results don't drop off? In fact, the results maybe get better.
Yeah, for us, it starts with tracking their KPIs, always watching their numbers. And
KPIs, what are those?
Something we didn't use 18 months ago, but now we got them going now. KPIs, key performance indicators, essentially what numbers are driving the results we want to see. And for those brokers, as you said, mostly turnover, margins, and revenue as well, really. setting up systems where the analysts help each other and create better decision making amongst them.
So just from a numbers standpoint, how many hours per week were you committing to evaluating tickets on the purchasing and selling side? How many are you now, 18 months later?
0 hours now. Before, over 40.
Wow.
Like 18 months ago.
How long did it take to really get you guys out of the operations?
About 6 months, I would say. The process started really 6 to 8 months before that, when we started training people to really bring them up to that level to take it over.
So let's go to another spot here, guys. Let's talk about how this got there, between the systems and one of the key forces of leverage, which is your team. So let's break that down in a little bit more detail.
Sounds good.
Right, let's grab a spot here. So Ryan, let's start with Chandler and I's favorite one here, systems. All right, so we talked about what we could help you with, and we talked at the center of it was these things called systems, something that you guys didn't know too much about, something that you didn't use too much. You guys just used your skills and used some brute force. So talk about the importance of what systems have meant for Reps & Company and your rapid growth.
Yeah, I mean, to me, systems are about scalability, essentially, for us. I am not the guy who cared about systems whatsoever. That was definitely my brother.
Yeah.
We would not be anywhere near where we are if we didn't put in systems. Scaling with humans gets you so far, but you need systems in place for them to be working through, essentially, to be able to scale effectively.
So before 2X, scale 1 to 10, how would you rate you guys on how you're doing on systems?
1 or a 2. 1 or a 2.
And now?
Probably like a 6 to an 8, depending on the month. But still a lot of room to grow with it. It's one of those things that you can always keep improving. Times change so fast, like software, like Excel, Airtable, all these things, they update so quickly, and the world's changing that it's a constant work in progress.
So how many systems do you think that you guys have created in 18 months?
Hundreds, possibly thousands.
Probably thousands.
Yeah.
Talk about like what a system even is.
Yeah,
To you, what is it?
I mean, Chandler gave a good definition of it earlier that sounded like it was straight from Wikipedia. To me, it's just a repeatable process that can be done over and over again, whether it's a human performing it, it can be computer or part of both, but the same task being performed the same way consistently again and again.
So if other people out there are visionaries, they are the ones that want to drive the show, they are the talent, if you will, like what would you suggest to them to really adopt this systems mentality, this systems culture, and actually make sure that they get implemented? Any things that you guys have done specifically?
I mean, from my perspective, hire other people, essentially. And, you know, if you're, what do they call it, a solopreneur, solo entrepreneur, probably, I mean, if you can have the discipline to put systems in yourself, all the power to you, you should absolutely do that. For me personally, that wasn't me. If I were to start another business today, I would not attempt to do that. I would start surrounding myself with people who find passion in that.
So let's simplify this down. Let's say somebody has a $50K per month business. They've got 10 people on their team, spread across the world. What's a couple tips that you would give them to really start to build a world-class team, take it to the next level? They want to go from not 10 to 100. They want to go from 10 to 20 employees. What would you say?
Starts with your vision. You got to know where you want to go and then work backwards to get there. I'm not sure if you were trying to set me up right from last topic to this, but that'd be my answer. Sure. You have to know where you're going, and it's more than okay to revisit where you're going and what your vision is, yearly, quarterly, monthly, whatever you feel is appropriate. I struggled with that for a long time. I didn't want to change my vision until I got there, but definitely realized that it's a changing target for us, and just got to keep that in mind and work backwards.
It's huge. It's where it all starts.
And it's hard to take that random hypothetical business and say exactly what they should do, because every 10-person business, whether if you're making 50K, 100K, whatever, way different spot. Yeah. And you really got to be able to look at what's your vision, who are you as a person, and how do we want to get to that vision.
Exactly. And look, your vision is to build an empire. Somebody else's vision may not be to build an empire. Like, for instance, I was just talking with my first online mentor yesterday, John Lee Dumas, and he has 5 people total on his team, including himself, so 4 other people, his girlfriend and 3 other people, in fact. He just made over $350,000 in revenue last month at 91% profit margin. So it's kind of the opposite of a lot of business models where there's a lot of overhead and there's a low margin. He has an insanely high margin, and that's what he wants. And he's generating cash flow. It all starts with the vision, right? So you could want 160 people, you can want 5 people, you can want 0 people. You got to figure out the vision first. So let's talk about what's possible, right? Like, what do you think is, like, most entrepreneurs, how they think about it versus like what you think is actually possible in the world? Like, do you have any realizations about that?
I would definitely say as we've continued to grow, what I believe is possible has continued to get way, way, way larger. The reason I say that is because other entrepreneurs need to keep that in mind. It's like every time you get to that next level, it's just so much bigger world out there, so many bigger opportunities. And it's usually not till you get to that next step that you really understand that or feel that.
Now that you're here, all right, we're above $100 million. What's your vision for the future with reps? What's your vision for the future as an entrepreneur? Where are you going now? You've got the tools, you've got the mindset, and everything's possible as we just talked about. What's next?
Short term, keep growing our current business, sell the most tickets in the world. More long term, it's get involved with more businesses, apply a lot of the data analytics tools that we've developed, and different algorithms, data collection methods, and bring those to other businesses and help them scale by implementing technology, software, and data to these companies.
Because once you learn what matters in one business, guess what? It's applicable to another, and to another, and to another. We realize every day that business is business is business. All right, so last question for you. You know everything that you know now, but we go back to when you were 14 years old, let's say. Let's say that at this time you were making a couple $100,000. So you're at a couple $100,000 business.
I was not making a couple $100,000 when I was 14, but yeah.
So let's say that you're 18.
I get the point.
You're 18 years old, you're a couple $100,000. You want to get to 7 figures as fast as humanly possible. Knowing what you know now, you don't have the resources that you have now, but you've got the knowledge. What would you do to get to 7 figures from 6 figures as fast as humanly possible?
Find the key levers to pull to get there, right? And it's probably delegation. Where do you need to delegate to get to that next level? Some businesses, it's driving clients as well, but the key thing is where do you need to delegate, because you're not, as a sole person, going to do it yourself. And then that's what I focus on. What levers can I delegate?
Beautiful. All right. Let's go inside. Let's go. So that's it. Hope you got some good value out of this video. If you have, I would love if you press the like button and go ahead and comment below. What's your #1 takeaway from this story of Ryan and his explosive growth? And most importantly, what are you going to do about it? One of my favorite things from Ryan and what he shared is that he says, you know what? At the end of the day, it all goes back to your vision. Whether you're hiring people or whether you're looking at what you should do or your model or everything, it starts with the vision. That's why this is the first piece in the 2X formula. To help you scale, we've got to go back to what you're trying to create, because this is your North Star. This is what guides you, all right? And then from there, it's a matter of execution. But we talked about the 4 key pillars of how you can scale absolutely amazingly fast, starting with the mindset. Anything is possible. Listen to Ryan, 23 years old, and they are growing fast. Anything is possible if you get the mindset right. So start there. #2 is we've got to have a scalable model. We got to get you out of the weeds. #3, you've got to adopt a systems mentality, a systems culture, and systemize every part of your business one at a time. We broke that out in more detail. And #4, start to build a world-class team. You don't have to hire 160 people. Start with 1. All right, do these 4 things. You're going to be able to scale faster than ever. But hopefully seeing Ryan's story and seeing what he has accomplished, seeing how fast they have grown, hopefully this inspires you to get to 7 figures and beyond as fast as humanly possible. We are here to guide you through that. So again, comment below about what you're going to do from the information from this video and get started today. I'm Austin Nestle with 2X. Thanks for being a part of this series. Excited to share with you in the next episode how to scale your business faster than ever before. But get started here today with some actions right now.